congregation. Because of that, the inner circle are given all of the key meanings, but those in the public, the vast majority of the people, the majority of the people who are taught, it must remain a parable. If it remains a parable, therefore, it is unknown. If it is unknown, then it can't function for the same purposes to which the disciples are given the understanding and the meaning. Now, why does he do that? Let's make sure that we have exactly what is going on. To you has been given the secret of the kingdom of God, but for those outside, everything is in parables. Now he quotes Isaiah, and he changes one key word. He says, for to him who has, more will be given, and from him who has not, even what he has will be taken away, so that they may indeed see, but won't perceive. They may hear, but won't understand, lest they should turn again and be forgiven. That's why he wants to keep it in parables. He doesn't want them to turn around and be forgiven. That's what he says. Then he says, do you not understand this parable? Parables, therefore, are to be understood. Then he makes the general statement about all parables. Then how will you understand all the parables? Therefore, all of the parables exist to be translated into an analogy. If one goes through the New Testament and collects all of the parables, they should then be systematically translated into analogies, so that you have a whole structure of analogies, all of which are preeminently understandable. Why? Because he says that is to grasp the meaning of the kingdom of God. So therefore there's an intimate relationship between parables, understanding them, and analogy, taking analogies into a wide structure. Through that structure of understanding, grasp the idea of the kingdom of God, which is only disclosed, therefore, to the disciples and those few people about him. Now, what's interesting about the Gospel of Mark, and this is central to the whole Gospel, let's see if I can put it in terms of as an analogy. I put the parables in terms of analogy. As the parables must be understood to grasp the idea of the kingdom of God, so the actual life of Jesus, as disclosed in the New Testament Gospel of Mark, must be understood to grasp the life of, or the meaning of, what Jesus is doing. Now let's see if we can see that. All right, let's see if we can do that. What are we saying? We're saying that built into the Gospel of Mark is the need to understand the life of Jesus, to understand the sequences in the life of Jesus, in order that one can therefore understand what is going on through Jesus' teachings. Okay, let me do it again. Okay? Therefore, we should be able to identify a series of events. We should be able to see that through these events, they become the objects of understanding, And therefore, the central teaching of Jesus is not belief, that's for the many. The object of the New Testament of Mark is to bring this inner circle that are carefully nurtured to a curious kind of understanding. All right, now let's get into it very quickly. It's rather do that rather quickly. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. I'm going to just read a couple of lines and then ask you to follow the logic of these lines, and you will see then that we can bracket a whole section of the New Testament, and in that bracket should be the particular events we're talking about, which must become the object for understanding, which when you do understand, therefore, it intimately relates to the idea of the kingdom of God and Jesus' role in it. Now, the part I'm going to read, therefore, is in chapter 8, 14 to 21. Now, all right. Take heed. As a matter of fact, I should read it from the beginning, shouldn't I? It's called, this section is often called the leaven of the Pharisees. Now, they had forgotten to bring bread. And they had only one loaf with them in the boat. And he cautioned them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod. Curious. Leaven associated with Herod. Leaven associated with the Pharisees, but we'll leave that for a moment. And they discussed it with one another, saying, we have no bread. And being aware of it, Jesus said to them, hey, why do you discuss the fact that you have no bread? Now watch this language. Very, very, very interesting. Do you not yet perceive or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Having eyes, do you not see? Having ears, don't you hear? Do you not remember? When I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up? 12, they answered. And the 7 for the 4,000, how many basketfuls of broken pieces did you take up? 7, they answered. And he said to them, do you not yet understand? Well, he's bracketing. The leaven of the Pharisees, that's the key, right? Leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod. Well, if you go back into the development of Mark,